Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, so good afternoon. Excited for the 23-24 season. Entering my fourth season here. I'm excited and really curious about how we will come together as a team and how quickly that happens. But to start off, we talked about the 3Ds for this program, and a new coach, discipline, and development and defense. And nothing's going to change there. We, if you watch us play, we competed in a lot of games, but we just didn't have enough discipline to sustain what it really took to win. What it really took to win games, and that dripped into our defense, and that's a big part of our development. Development is not just a player getting better at shooting or dribbling. Development is a team being able to focus, maintain their effort for longer stretches, so that they can have a sustained ethos about the way they play the game on both ends of the floor. So you'll hear a lot about the discipline of our team, the development of our team, and our defense. I've said it countless times. Can't shoot your way out of a hole. Absolutely need shooting, and we continue to acquire that, but we have to defend. I've never seen any turnaround in any sport without defense being the central focus of that. And for us to be the team we want to become, defense will be on the forefront of that. So really looking for us to step up defensively. Our development, we got some really good young players, talented young players, but their development will determine what kind of team we turn into. We got some high-level talent that needs to develop into some real players, and our staff is, since the summer, has really been working hard and trying to help those guys develop on and off the floor. But their mental capacity is a big part of where we see growth. We have a team now where very few teams can walk in and I feel like we don't have enough to play against them. We have enough physically now. Now we need to develop mentally and sustain those efforts so we can become a real team. In the past, after the All-Star break, we hadn't really played meaningful basketball, and the goal this year is to play 82 meaningful games. We want to compete. Every game is going to mean something from the start, 1 to 82. We're going to play this thing out. We're going to go after it full speed, and excited about how this season will unfold as it relates to the things I just alluded to. And one more thing before we open it up. The support from the ownership group as we've gone through this has been tremendous. It's not easy when you're going through a retool, reboot, rebuild. We call it restoring. It's not easy. It's not easy for the ownership group. It's not easy for the fan base. But we want to build this thing the right way so it can be a sustained model. I guess the best analogy I have, you know, we didn't want to microwave this process. We wanted to put it in the oven, make sure all the ingredients were there and got cooked the right way. Make sure we were putting everything in place so that we could have a team that was built on the right things. And now with the new coaching staff coming in, Coach Williams and his group, we're expecting to take a big step forward. Last year we thought we could take a step forward. We had so many injuries with Cade and so many other guys. Missed so many games. I think we were second in the league in missed games last year. So I think now we have enough depth to sustain some injuries that we can still compete every night. But just grateful to the ownership group and Mr. Gores, his patience, and the fan base as we've gone through this restoring, but now we're ready to go. So starting tomorrow, we tip it up, and Coach Williams will have the guys ready to go on the 24th. Is that the first? When's our first game? 24th? I don't know. Sunday. 8th. So we'll be ready to go. So with that, we can open it up.
You talked this summer about, I think your quote was, defense and depth is the way to build the roster and win. Talk about this roster compared to your past rosters, just from a standpoint of depth and roster flexibility.
Yeah, we've added more depth and more experience. Obviously, you go get a couple of veterans like Monte Morris and Joe Harris. That really adds to the group. They've played in playoffs. They've been around. They've been on winning teams. That experience adds to the group. We're excited about what they bring. The two rookies as well. But I mean, since I've been here, this is the most depth we've had, and now it's up to us to flip that coin and really defend. Like, we aren't the Pistons till we defend. So I talk to all the players, like, we can't become the team we want to become until we defend. And Coach Williams and his group, they understand that, and can't wait to tomorrow to get started.
Kind of with that, Troy, with the depth, both young guys and old guys, there's two groups similar ages. I don't know if maybe some guys are slightly above another or whatever, but it's pretty close. Maybe in comparison to last year's, where maybe a young guy might get minutes because you're developing, do you think there'll be less of that, where it's like, just because you're a young guy, you're not going to get 2 minutes? There's somebody behind you who's close in age and they're doing the right thing. Is that kind of how you built the roster this summer, in mind of competition at certain positions?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, competition in house is the best thing for us to grow. Veterans, they need young guys that keep them on their toes, and the young guys need veterans to keep them on their toes. But Coach Williams will put the best player on the floor. We've developed the last 3 years, and now it's time for those guys to step up. I mean, even though we have two rookies in the mix, the veterans and the guys that have been here in the past, you got to step up and earn your minutes. Nothing will be given this season, and the best man to win, but everybody has to stay ready. But I like the mix of the young players we have and the veterans to keep us balanced and keep us hungry.
the Eastern Conference. It's got better. You look at Milwaukee, you look at Boston. I guess you guys come off the season last year. You talked about playing an 82 meaningful game. What's a realistic goal for y'all? What would you like to see? Not really a record or anything, but what would you like to see from us? Where do you guys feel like you match up in the Eastern Conference landscape?
Well, I always like when teams get better in your conference. I do personally, because you have to step up. I mean, you look over the history of when teams have been able to forge ahead, they had to beat a very good team, whether it was the Pistons beating the Celtics and then the Bulls beating the Pistons. Like, you had to beat a big-time team. And if we want to step up, right now we're trying to build our program. But in time, like, if we're going to bump heads and fight those teams. So, no, I like what Boston and Milwaukee and the rest of those teams do. That's more fuel to what we're trying to do. Realistic goal for our team is to play 82 meaningful games. Like, we want to go down to the wire every game, us playing for something. We don't want to just look at the last 25 games and not be in contention. We want to be in contention for 82 games the entire season.
Obviously, a lot of focus has been on Cade Cunningham, just coming back from injury. He was one of the bigger stories coming out of Vegas, just with the FIFA World Cup training. Just what have you seen from him this summer as far as preparing for next season? And what do you expect, given that he's coming back from an injury, but also has to step in and be a leader for the team as well?
What people saw this summer was Cade just being healthy. I mean, he didn't do anything that we didn't think he could do. He just was healthy. For the first time, he's able to really explode off the leg and play with his mind being free of not having to worry about his legs. So he's just stepping into being healthy, and I mean, hey, he's the linchpin of what we're doing, and we're excited that he's healthy and the role he'll play with the team. But no, he was healthy, and when he's healthy, he has a chance to become a big-time player.
Hey, Troy, what do you think Monte Morris' leadership will add to this team?
Just a veteran guard whose experience, his leadership, his know-how, being able to, on and off the floor, help young guys. I mean, we've had Corey Joseph in the past, but I mean, basically Cade and Jaden and Killian now, Marcus. There's a bunch of young guys trying to survive and figure it out, but Monte is experienced. He knows what the game's about. He plays the right way. He's got great leadership. So, you know, we're expecting all of that. That's why we wanted him here. And he's still young enough to get out on the floor and have juice and really add to the group. So, no, we're excited about him joining us.
Troy, you talked about the veterans that you've added, playing the 82 meaningful games. As currently constructed, do you feel that this is a team that can contend toward the play-in or the playoffs this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say no. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We want to play. We want to get after it every game. So no, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to put a cap on our team, but I'm expecting us to compete every night. So however you want to slice that, you slice it. But we come in and compete every night.
With that being said, is it safe to say you were saying no more excuses? And if that is the case, how much does Monty Williams, just being here, have to do with that kind of mistake?
I mean, you go out and get a big-time coach. It has a lot to do with it. He didn't come here to, figure it out. He came here because he saw a young group that he could mold and push ahead. But no excuses. There was never any excuses. But we were young. Hey, when I got here, we had aging stars who had been injured. Ed did a great job of starting to figure the books out, and then we make sure we got the books. But we needed to add young talent, and we've done that. Now we got young talent with some veterans, so now we're ready to step forward.
Cade for a second. Steve Kerr praised his performance coming out of this. Like Cam Johnson the other day told J.J. Redick that Cade was essentially coming. What do you think that experience did for him?
I mean, like I said, he was healthy, and just getting out there. I mean, he played, I don't know, 15, 17 games last year. So him being able to play against some real competition after his rehab, it just let him know that he was fine and he was ready to go. So just gave him that confidence that he's ready to go this season.
How ready is Ausar to help you defensively from day one, do you think?
Coach Williams would be the one to ask, but, I mean, defensively, I mean, I think he'll be ready.
So we know this team has an open roster spot. What type of position are you looking for in terms of filling?
Not sure yet. We're trying to figure that out. We're trying to keep our flexibility. We just want to add the right player to the mix. I couldn't put a finger on position right now. I know what attributes we're looking for in a player, but we have it open for a reason because we want to keep our flexibility and kind of want to see how this group comes together, and then we'll, if need be, we'll add to the group.
Just kind of what is the message that sends? Him getting paid first of your draft class, but even just what he provides, and you talk about all the time him being the heart of the team, and I guess was it important to kind of reward that?
Yeah, I mean, it made sense for us, but I mean, you always want to have a player or players on the team that are symbols of what you want to be about, and he's that on and off the floor. Who he is as a person, the way he brings it every day in practice, what kind of teammate he is. You know, we missed, Cade was a huge loss last year, but Stu being out was huge. He brings competitive edge to this group like no one else. Excited to be able to get that done, and he's a true Piston.